And the thing is, like, the first time on stream, like, we had doubters, you know what I'm saying? The first time I was showing it off, people, like, I wasn't that good at doing it. And people were like, bro, like, this is useless, blah, blah, blah. It's so useless. And I kept practicing. And now I just do it consistently. Like, I just whiplash all the time, like, in game. You just press attack and then attack again. And then, yeah. It's good off the sword, too. I do it on sword. Because you can get, like, a certain input where you get this, like, backdash stare like that. It's kind of hard to do though. It's like where you have to like dash before you do it. Because there's, yeah, like that. There's different variants of the whiplash. That's the thing about it. So like sometimes on sword, I'll go for like this secondary version, so I can get like a fading backsider. That's like super low that I can catch dodges in with. Like, okay, like what I just did, like that movement sequence I just did. This movement sequence right here is like crazy. Like with how fast I did it, I dashed towards them. So imagine you hit a sword end light, right? And you go and pressure your opponent. They're gonna think that when you move towards them, like they're gonna try to protect themselves, or they're gonna react in some way. But when they see you turn around and then jump, they're gonna be thinking, okay, he's jumping away. And since he's jumping away, like you jump pretty high in Brawlhalla, so when you jump away, like there's a big window for like him to kind of get back on the stage. But I just instantly go back to the ground after only like 3 frames, and then I snap to the ground with a dash jump reverse side air, and like all in one motion. It looks like this. Like that's fast as fuck. Like that is crazy. And you can like delay it and like just pressure them again. Like you can just move like inhumanly fast with like while being controlled. Because if you try to do like a normal dash jump, the reason why whiplash is important is because like if you want to hit someone and like pressure them in the air with an aerial, like let's say you want to hit them with a side air after this end light, you want to do a side air. Normally if you want to pressure someone with the end light into a side air, you have to jump and slowly fall back down, then do a fast fall side air, which is reactable. You have to go like this and do a side air. But with the whiplash, you can basically do a, see, I'm doing a grounded sair without jumping the full height. Like normally, if I want to do a jump sair, like grounded sair, I would have to be up this high, then fast fall down to hit the sair. But now I can basically hit a grounded side air without fast falling, because I'm just like halfway in the air anyway when I do the whiplash. Obviously, you can do stuff like dash jump fast fall sair, but this is much safer because you can cancel it. If you go for an end line to dash jump fast fall side air, you're still committing to jumping in towards them. So if you don't go for the side air, you're still gonna commit to like jumping towards them. But if you whiplash, you're gonna stop and go like that and react. And there's other properties with it too, because if you do the whiplash, you get a double dash. And what I mean by that is the original like instance of it was on Yumiko, where when you do a D-sig on hammer, you can spam it over and over, and you get this like dash where you get to move really fast, right? And this is like pretty known. Like this is pretty known tech on Yumiko. You get to basically go left and right like that. Like turning around becomes lagless, because normally to dash backwards or to, like to turn around, you have to actually like tap away, then like do that. But when you have the whiplash, turning around becomes lagless, so you can instantly turn around. Which means if you hit a attack like hammer D-light, you get that same double dash off hammer D-light or just any attack. So even if you didn't want to like do like the jump fast fall circle motion, you still get that double dash. Like there was something on bow that I think the flower showed me that you can do with it. Like if they dodge away off of this, you can't catch them. But if you whiplash it, you can catch it like that. See? But then if you like, normally you can't do it, but if you like get the buffer, you go super fast and you can catch the dodge away. Which is why like that's kind of important. It's good on hammer too, off of hammer sidelight. The reason why it's so good on hammer too is because the problem with hammer is that to hit a side air, you have to jump and fast fall and it's reactable. But if you can whiplash it, you can basically get a grounded hammer side air like this without having to actually like do the full like jump height. So you basically have to like do like lower sairs. What's the best thing to learn for someone that's mid-silver? your true combos and how to move around. You need to learn your true combos and just how to move around good. That's all you need. Like as long as you can control your character and like get from point A to point B effectively, and also you just like know your combo routes, you'll be fine. Being good at a platform fighting game is just about being able to express your ideas in the game. Like if you are thinking, I want to approach him from the air quickly, then move backwards and then jump fast fall. Like you want to be able to like do that the exact way you thought of it in your head. Like that's how you get good at movement. Being able to like think of a certain movement sequence and replicate it like instantly. Like being able to do like dash cancels and empty hops and going left and right, like in and out, crossing them up, going to the corner, doing a dash jump reverse nair and like fading back, going in, GCD light, like going in and out and then coming back in with the GC. Like being able to have these different movement sequences in your bag and being able to like do them flawlessly basically. You don't obviously have to have it completely down and do it like crazy when you're just starting off, but like you want to just be able to move the way that you want to move. Like you want to be able to move and have control over your character, so if like you can do whatever you want. It's just about having control. And then when you learn the true combos, you'll be able to like move a certain way, then combo them because you knew what you're doing. You're supposed to think of your movement sequence, not exactly, but you want to be able to do any kind of sequence. You don't have to think of the exact movement sequence, but you want to be able to be like, okay, I want to bait this guy, like, because obviously like your brain is not going to be able to think of everything completely. That's like a complete thought. But the way that it would work is like, for example, if you're fighting let's say you're fighting a hammer player, right? And you want to pressure them like with like some kind of in out movement. Like you go in, then you go out, and then you pressure them. But you know that you don't really want to be on the ground against a hammer player. Like you'd rather be in the air. Like your brain will subconsciously, as long as like you like tell yourself, I want to go in and out, your brain will kind of be able to be like, okay, let's do a GC approach instead of like a normal end light because I want to be in the air this time. Or maybe you want to cross them up like that, you know? It's just about being able to like express your thoughts. Chat, I'm not gonna lie. How many of y'all have game plans when you play Brawl? Say I in the chat. Because not many people actually have a game plan. They just kind of play the game and just like let their brain do whatever. Like, yeah, like y'all don't even have game plans and be like, why am I hard stuck? You guys are hard stuck with no game plan. Like, what do you mean you don't have a game plan? Because like a lot of weapons in this game can't do everything. The only time where not having a game plan is like you can make that shit work is if you're playing weapons that can do everything at the same time, like orb or katars. When you play weapons like blasters and like you're playing, I don't know, like cannon, lance, spear, greatsword, like certain weapons that like are strong to a certain, like especially hammer, like weapons that are strong only in like a couple of circumstances, like you need a game plan. But to be honest, no matter what you play, you should honestly have a game plan no matter what. I'm not gonna put y'all behind a paywall on this one. I'll tell you guys how to make a game plan or what that means. Well, the first thing you need to do is to have like your weapon figured out, which is why I think manning a character is so important. Because when you know every punish, every dodge read, it'll be less of a question of like, what do I do? You should know what to do. But dodge reads aren't game plans. That's just advantage state. That's a small piece of the puzzle. A game plan, literally, is just you hop in the game and it's like, okay, what do I do? When the game starts, what do I even do? I bet when y'all hop in the game, you just start jumping around, like just doing shit. Like you just either start mashing towards them, trying to hit them instantly, or you just kind of like start jumping around and you just run away, like one or the other. When the game starts, what is your opener? Do you guys know how important openers are? Like when the weapon spawns up here and you have to pick it up. The opener, you can have different openers. Some people do a down air, some people do the recovery, some people will just jump and pick it up. Then after the opener, when you're in neutral like this, like you're fighting this Olgrim player and you're just standing here, well, it's like, what do you do next? You pressure. You approach them with some kind of movement sequence. And not every movement sequence is good for every weapon. It depends on what you're playing. The reason why people play so similar to each other is because there's no game plan. They just are playing off of straight, just like reacting. The first thing to figure out in the game plan is approaching. Like, how should I go about approaching? It's 2024 right now, like just given the context. It's 2024, the Olgrim is holding an axe. I'm thinking that as soon as I approach this Olgrim, he's just gonna go for end light. Like as soon as I get in front of his face right here, he's gonna just end light me. Every axe player nowadays in 2024, they just spam end light. That all they do is walk around in neutral like this, move left and right, and just spam end light and D light. So given that context in my brain, I'm just gonna be thinking, okay, like how should I go about approaching? So I'm gonna test them. I'm gonna just kind of like in and out real quick, you know, or I might like jump in, jump out. Obviously, this is just like a thing you should only do for a couple interactions. Like you're not supposed to play like that the entire game. You do that kind of shit at the start of the game. Like you get in front of their face and you kind of see like, okay, is this person going to hit me when I get near them? And this is where like the flowchart starts. If yes, then you can either hit them before they hit you, or you can approach them, then bait the attack and punish the attack. If the answer is no, if they don't attack when you get near them, then what do they do? Are they dodging? Are they like jumping behind you? Are they just jumping in the air? Like, do they back up into the corner on the ground? Do they back up in the corner in the air? You have to like answer those questions for yourself. Obviously, it'll change damn near every neutral interaction. But the thing is with categories, like when you categorize a player, like you're gonna realize that a lot of people will fall into like a certain like type of category where it's like the same type of player that is going to spot dodge when you approach them is the same type of person who also might back up. And the same person who jumps when you approach them is also going to jump and back up in the corner, or they might cross you up in the corner. People who jump away from you when you approach them usually aren't going to ever attack first. They'll just change up what direction they jump in. So it's like, if you know that your opponent is like, plays more scared than aggressive, then you can get in their face more and just pressure them and hit them. After you win neutral, there's more. There's more to the fucking puzzle. Advantage state. So after you do win neutral and you punish them, because everything I just went over was just neutral, like the whole thing of pressuring and then you hit them when they do something, that's just neutral. So then after you hit them, it's like, what next? Okay, advantage state now. Now when I hit them, like, where are they dodging? Are they even dodging at all? Are they doing wake ups? Are they the type of person who's going to be like dodging away more? Like, and this is where the categories work out to like kind of free space in your brain. The same type of people who jump away when you approach them are the same type of people that dodge away when you hit them. Because it all is just because they're scared. They're trying to get away from you. So if you approach someone and they jump away like this, most likely when you do win neutral and hit the spear side, they're probably just going to dodge up away, because like their goal is just to get away from you. So they're probably going to dodge up away like this. You can just use that like knowledge of like that archetype of player, like scared player, and just kind of like read everything. What if they never dodge the same way twice? Even if they don't dodge the same way twice, there's still going to be like a pattern. There's always a pattern. Like most pros never dodge the same way twice. They like cycle between 2 or 3 different dodges. So it's like a lot of pros, you hit them, they dodge up away, and then here's the thing, like there's like a lot of like, when you play this game for 8 fucking years, like a lot of like things just become like rules in your head. For example, when you hit a spear sidelight and someone dodges up away that's a pro, and you hit them with a spear sidelight like shortly after, like actually shortly after, like you miss and then they dodge away, then you hit them with another one, they will not dodge the same way that they did before. They might dodge like a different way. But the thing is, they only cycle between like 2 or 3 dodges, so they'll like dodge down, then dodge in, and then the next time they'll dodge up away again. But what I noticed is that like if there's enough time in between like those interactions, then they might do the same dodge twice, just because like it's not on their mind anymore. Like when someone gets hit by for example, like a spear sidelight and they dodge up away, they're going to be thinking about which direction they dodge for like the next 5 seconds. So like if they don't get hit by another spear sidelight in like that time limit, they're probably just going to forget about how they dodge and do the same thing.